Bamboo Project podcast starts in 3, 2.
Welcome to the Bamboo Project podcast. My name is Donovan Gray, the future $10 billion man. On the way to 10 billion, I decided I am going to help create 1,000 millionaires, including myself. And not by being a guru or selling a course, but by doing the things I already love to do every day and documenting my journey to get there. I figure I'll make all the mistakes so you don't have to. My name is Donovan Gray, and this is how I will turn my life into a living. I like to start off by giving a shout out to all the people rocking with us and supporting the channel. We really appreciate you. We are currently streaming on all major streaming platforms such as Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Anchor. You name it, we on it. And if we not on it, we about to be on it. For everyone listening to this podcast and not watching it, you can find us on YouTube at The Bamboo Project. We have over 400 videos on our channel. Do you want to learn real estate? We got that. Do you want cooking tutorials inspired by Dr. Sabi? We got that. Do you want travel and lifestyle vlogs? Got it. Do you want makeup and hair growth tutorials? Got it. Basketball? Got it. Turo? Got it. Candles? Got it. It's everything us. All the parts of the journey that don't make it to YouTube will be on our story. You can find me on Instagram at Donovan Gray, DonivanGray, and my phenomenal, beautiful, amazing girlfriend, Anita Byrne, ANETABURN. Okay? The Bamboo Project is about turning your life into a living by making money off the things you already do every day. We made different playlists for all the things we are into, and you can find all of those links in the description box below. This may be your first time here, and if it is, welcome to the family. But for everyone else, this is chapter 3, page 136, okay? This podcast has 4 different segments: life update, episode playback, Donovan's questions, and the topic of the day. All video and audio timestamps will be in the description box below. Today's date is Tuesday, October 25th, and it is 5:23 p.m. All right, so intro is over with. Let's get to the podcast. Now, first thing first, I already know. I know we start off with this every single week. Screen check for all the people who are new. If I don't take advantage of my phone, then my phone is taking advantage of me. And the way I stay on top of that is by checking my screen time every single week. All right. So let's see what my screen time was this week. For last week, okay, the average screen time for each day last week was 9 hours and 38 minutes. That is very high. And I don't know how that is, because I feel like last week it was just nonstop candle stuff and being outside.
I think you streamed on your phone.
Oh, yeah, YouTube is high as fuck. The day with the highest usage last week was Thursday for 11 hours and 42 minutes. So obviously it seems as though my phone was on while I was sleeping. Oh, right. We was up, because I'm like, the time on here, it's 4 bars all the way up to here. And I'm like, obviously I wasn't up at this time. I obviously had to have my phone on by itself. I was up, yes, until, what time is this?
What, 4 or 5 a.m.?
Yeah, it looks like it's about 4 a.m. I was up. And I was on YouTube for 5 hours and 27 minutes. Let's see. For the week, I was on YouTube for 17 hours and 43 minutes, Instagram for 12 hours and 39 minutes, and Google for 12 hours. The average amount of times I picked up my phone per day was 108 times, which was up from the week before, which was 79 times. Okay, and my first used app after pickup was YouTube. So, yes, beautiful, phenomenal, amazing girlfriend. What was your screen time for last week?
Oh.
What?
My screen time is going to be funny. My screen time for last week is 3 hours and 54 minutes.
Hilarious. I know why, too. That's funny.
Why do you?
Because he had a new phone. Ridiculous. Every week it'd be a setup. So set up every single week. It's like, how is it that Melissa would be 3 hours? 3 hours.
Yeah, I got a new phone. So Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday, there's no information for those days. It just has Wednesday through Saturday. So my most used app was YouTube for 4 hours. I
Which day?
YouTube for 4 hours.
Which day?
Wednesday and Tuesday. Oh, I was kind of watching the stream.
Our stream?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, kind of. Yeah.
I kind of was.
Mhm.
Okay, so I get talking to it. That's what happened.
Yeah.
So Instagram, I was on Instagram for about 4 hours. Google Maps 3 hours. Music for 2.5 hours. And then my average pickup was 115 for the week. My most pickups was Saturday, which was 200.
God damn. God damn, that's a lot. I've never seen almost 200. 220. Well, I thought it was going to be like 204 or something.
Well,
like you just...
In my defense, Saturday was the fair, and we used my phone as the...
Oh, yeah, I guess.
Right.
I guess.
My phone as the point of sale, so.
And then subscriber check. Bro, I want to tell you right now, I don't know what is going on, but we have angered the YouTube gods for sure. Absolutely. So I know last week, I think I said that at the time we had 622 subscribers in last week's podcast, right? We usually were getting roughly 20 to 30 subscribers a day. That's usually what we were getting. So from last week, we had 6,022. This week, 7 days, we have 6,059. That's only 30 for the whole week. And I think when I had checked in the middle of the week, we only got 4 subscribers after 2 days. That's unheard of for us, right? Also, the views are going down. The watch time is going down. The money is going down. Everything. And it's not even going down like a dip. It's like falling off a cliff. So I'm trying to figure out exactly what it could be. I believe originally it was the thumbnail that we had from one of the lives, which we ended up changing. And I felt like it kind of went up a little bit, but then something else happened, I think on the 19th or maybe possibly, the 12th. It was the 12th. And ever since then, it just nosedives off a cliff. I'm actually, you know what I'm going to do? I am going to show the new angle. Like, it really looks crazy. You said what?
No, I was just laughing.
Yeah, it looks crazy. Like, we have not made less than $1,000 on YouTube since January, probably. Even we've had $1,800 months on there. And as far as subscribers, we have never had less, like, under 300 is crazy. Like, that's insane for what we've been doing. What?
It was going back up, and then on my birthday, it went down again.
Right.
I think that's when you have put the community post to say happy birthday to me.
Bruh, that's crazy.
But it's going up today. I think we got 11 subscribers yesterday.
Yeah, I saw the subscribers were going up. I know that it was something, I feel like something you did, I think it might be the video, the music video I was thinking. But I was also, okay, so for people who are not familiar with YouTube, right, I can change which ads come up on the video, right? And then I had talked to someone, I forgot who it was in the comments, and they were saying that they were getting this ad that they couldn't. It was messing up. Something was messing up with the ads. That I don't have any control of, but I figured maybe if I turn it off, they won't have that, right? I have a very small inkling from before trying something like that made the views go down. I don't think that YouTube likes when you pick and choose which ads you put on the channel. They want to do that. So I think when I start moving it around, they're like, absolutely not. No views for you, no money for you. So because of that, I actually went back and changed it either today or I did it today. So I didn't do it yesterday. I changed it today.
Well, do you remember what you changed?
I now allowed YouTube to choose from all the ads that they have to put on the channel.
Oh, so instead of saying like no, none of this ad, you just check off all of them. Like no, none.
Right, that's how. Right, normally they're all checked off.
Yeah.
I was like, you know what? What I changed was I didn't want any non-skippable ones. So now I'm like, you know what? Let me put that back because I don't know how they feel about that. Right.
I can see that.
So now, and I think because that might be one of the, honestly, I don't think that's I think the highest paid one is the skippable ones. So I think that it wouldn't change the amount per that much. But whatever it was, I think that's something to do with it too. That's all I'm saying. I think that attributes to the feeling for sure. So that's where we're at with the YouTube. Listen, it'd be crazy. Like just one day you could be good, next day YouTube like nah. But here's what I do know. Okay, the podcast is like a foundation at this point because the people that come to watch it, it's very different than other videos on our channel because YouTube recommends those. And I think people are actually looking to watch the podcast. So those numbers haven't really changed at all, which is kind of funny. But everything else has kind of went down. But like Melissa was saying, I do think that it is going back up. She said she saw it going back up. So that's a good sign. So I'm going to start off with the craft fair from last week because I know a lot of y'all keep saying, y'all gotta get a job. Go get a job. Y'all keep saying, get a job, get a part-time job. Listen, me and Jay, I don't understand. Listen, Jay, me and you, we got to have a talk. Oh, we finally have a Discord. I'm going to get back to more of that later. But it's going to be in the description of this video. And the Discord, again, for people who don't know what it is, think of like a group chat where everybody who's watching the videos, we can post pictures in there. We could talk in there. You can also do like videos. So we could have like where the same way I'm talking right now, somebody else will be able to talk to me directly. You can have without the video, just do audio. When we go live, going forward, if we're in the house, we're going to have it where on our live, I can bring the Discord video onto the live. So anybody that wants to talk about the candles, you want to talk about getting a part-time job, you want to talk about music for Melissa, any of those things, we could talk about all of those things in the Discord. So I'm excited for that. Now, okay, back to the craft fair. So last weekend, we were double booked, okay? Actually, we were double booked. Technically, we're triple booked, but we didn't go to the other craft fair. That's because it seemed like it's not mandatory to go. They're very lax on that. That's the one that's 30 days out of the month. So we had a very, very busy, crazy week last week. For people who were there during the live, we were up till 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, just doing just candle stuff. This was how last week went, okay? Sunday was Melissa's birthday. So we had did a craft fair that day. Monday after Sunday, we had went out to eat. So Melissa made candles on Monday, right? And then at 6, we had went out to eat. We got back home at like 12 o'clock at night, maybe like 11:30, 12 o'clock at night. Then on Tuesday, we had to wake up early, do the podcast, then drive to Jersey, right? Pick up the wax, come back here to then go to Turnstile, which is a location in Manhattan, try to find parking, try to set up the stuff down there. We realized we didn't have to go there today because no one was there. So we ended up leaving there after we got the keys for that location. Then we drove to go do some like small house shopping, like groceries and things like that. Then we came back home. Then Wednesday was the day we went live, and that was the longest live we've ever done. That live was 8 hours, okay? It went from probably 6 o'clock at night to 4 o'clock in the morning. And that whole time we were making candles, cutting wicks, putting wick stickers in, pouring wax, setting up all the tins. It was just candle stuff for that whole day. So I had edited that day on Thursday, and then I put it up on Friday. So that was our freest day, and we were still working up until 9, 10 o'clock at night. And then Friday, we had just got more fragrances and things in. So Friday, we was up until 3 o'clock in the morning. 3 o'clock in the morning, one of the fragrance oils did not come in, right? So because of that, it finally came in, and because it came in late, we had to make all those candles the day before the craft fair because, as I told y'all before, a lot of the shipments were just delayed all last week. It was just a hectic week, all in the same week that we're going to be triple booked. So we're making this stuff on Friday. They were making all of the samples. We have a picture of the samples that day. I feel like we kind of have a picture. I think I have a picture. If I do, I'll post a picture of the samples. But we had made 500 samples. Hundreds of samples, right? That was 3 o'clock in the morning. Then in the morning on Friday, from Friday to Saturday morning now, day of the craft fair. So what does that mean? We have to get up early. Not just early, but early, because we have to go to pick up her brother who lives in far away land in Far Rockaway. Then that's about 35-minute drive from here. Then from their house to the craft fair, that's 45 minutes to an hour to get over there. But that's not where we're going. We're dropping him off there. So then we have to go from there all the way to Manhattan, right, to go do the craft fair, which has no parking in Manhattan. So we're over there trying to set up the whole tent, trying to find parking. We do the whole craft fair that day. Then on that day, once the craft fair is over, we are picking up her my mom and her brother from back in Brooklyn. And then from Brooklyn, we had to drive all the way to the Bronx. Okay. And then from the Bronx, we had to drive back to Far Rockaway. And then from Far Rockaway, we had to drive back to our house. That was Saturday. Then on Sunday, we finally woke up and we're like, okay, this is going to be a decent day. And we went to the craft fair and it was raining on the day of the craft fair.
We had to pick up my brothers again.
Facts. I almost forgot that. We had to drive back to far, far away land, pick up her brothers, and then drive that 145 to an hour back over to the craft fair, right? And then when we're there, we're on our feet about 85% of the time selling candles. Then once we leave, everybody wants to eat. We go get the food. Then we drive back to far, far away land, drop them off, and then from there drive back to our house. Okay? And then we end up on Monday, guys. That's where we end up on Monday. And because of that, Melissa was kind of sick she was sick last week, right? And I was fine last week. I think that the culmination of us not being able to eat what we used to eat because we don't have the time to really cook as much, also the not sleeping, also the stress of everything, it was something else too.
I think one of the major issues from last week was the stuff not being coming in.
Yeah.
The damn Donovan ordered vessels from 2 weeks ago that were supposed to be delivered by USPS that never got delivered.
Right, we're still living over there.
Never got. It was.
We went there to USPS that first on Tuesday.
The day that we went and got the wax.
I forgot
and
that.
Did the podcast and went to Turnstile. Yes, we also
and went shopping.
Yes, and we went shopping. Yes, we also went to USPS.
Mm-hmm.
So there was that. There was a fragrance oil that didn't show up until Friday that you ordered from weeks ago.
Bruh.
Because they
They hate us. So like I said, so now you might be able to tell by my voice, I have come down, okay, but let me make a correction to how I describe this. I don't think there is such thing as catching a cold. I think that your body is just reacting to something that's inside of it. Depending on how healthy your lifestyle is, you may react very well, if you have a couple of sneezes or whatever, but because of our lifestyle right now in the last week, I don't think we were putting things in our body to pass that bacteria or virus all out fast enough. So like I said, I was fine last week. Melissa, and she's about to be on her cycle, so that made it even worse. All of last week was about to be her cycle. Then her cycle started on when did it start? Monday? Started Monday. So yeah, so all up to that, she was pre-cycling.
I was out of commission yesterday.
Right, she was on her tricycle. That's what they call it. No, what do they call it it's tricycle, right? When you have the extra wheels. That's before you have the actual start. She was on her tricycle, and now she had a bicycle started yesterday. So from then, me woke up that morning, I was, oh my God, messed up. I think one of the main reasons why I was messed up was because when we were at the craft fair, we don't know exactly how this happened, but someone had so much dust in the area and we could not breathe. The whole craft fair, I'm sneezing uncontrolled. I have explosive sneezing at the craft fair. It's crazy. I'm talking about 12 to 15 times my brain cells are coming out. It's how hard I'm sneezing. I feel like that. Her brother is messed up. She's messed up, and we're inhaling this the whole time. This dust is getting all over the table that we have with the candle. So it was just a crazy time. The person next to us, they actually sell clothing, and I think that is the reason why there was so much dust on our stuff. So all in all, it was a very stressful week, but we are here on the podcast on Tuesday shooting it. So as y'all probably saw in the title, okay, last week, because I don't even know the exact number, but y'all probably saw because in the title, I'm going to say it anyways, so that I remember exactly how much we made, okay? Last week, honestly, I'm posting the community tab today.
Are you going to post it?
Yes. Today will be Tuesday. I'm posting it today, and the podcast, which is y'all listening to right now, will probably come up tomorrow or Thursday, but when you hear, if you're watching the video, it'll be on Sunday, which would be the 30th, the day before Halloween. But in 2 days, okay, at the craft fair, we made $2,328. And what are you going to include?
That does not include the payment links.
Right. So on here, y'all might even believe me. So because y'all might not believe me, I'm gonna put it for y'all to see. Hold on, let me get that. Let me get it zoomed in for y'all. Make sure it's focusing. Come on, you can do it. You can focus. How are you? Oh, is this touchscreen? Maybe if I do it like this. Oh yeah, there you go. There you go. Look at that. Okay, for y'all who may not believe me. Okay, so now we actually made more money than that, to be completely honest with you, in that weekend. Here's why. While we were at the craft fair, right, Melissa had left. Her phone was on the Wi-Fi, so I tried something new with one of the orders. I can actually text a person the order that they made at the craft fair, and they can fill it out on their phone. So I airdropped the order to them. They filled it out, and we got paid from it, okay? That person bought 2 large candles for $40 and a small one for $15. So that right there is $95 for that order. Someone else also bought a $15 candle in that same fashion. So that's another $105 or whatever for that. Did we get any online orders over the weekend, Melissa?
Yes.
How much money did we make from online orders this weekend? Please let us, me and everybody else here know how much money we made from last weekend.
Okay, let me make sure. $70.
You only got one order?
I think so.
Okay, so that's another $70 on top of the 100 I just said. So we got $23.28. Okay, let's do the math. $23.28 plus.
It was $80. $83.
Plus 83 plus the 15 plus what was the other number that it was the 100 plus 100. Okay. We had $2,526 over the weekend. Okay. Now, some of y'all may have seen the comments from the last podcast between me and Jay. I don't know. I think I know why. I believe, and correct me if I'm wrong, Jay, on your page, I think that's you in the video. It seems like you have a business that helps people to get jobs. So I think that you have an affinity for corporations because it's a part of how your entrepreneurial journey. That's my belief and my assumption, right? If you were to break down our hourly amount, because I know other people have to hear it on an hourly spectrum, okay? For that weekend, 25.26 divided by 14 is $180.42 per hour, right? So now here's where the fun part comes, because I know my guy Jay wants to break it down across the whole week of how much time we put into the candles, right? I know Jay loves to do that. To me, I think that's misguided. The reason why I say that is because under no other job does anyone take into account those other hours for their job. Here's an example of that, right? If I work at Chick-fil-A or I work at Target, right? If I get paid $10 an hour, right? That's how much I make. No one accounts for the hour that I get to work of part of how much money I make. No one accounts for the hour I have to get up before I get ready for work. And then no one counts into the hour when I leave work to go back home. No one accounts for the time I take a shower. No one accounts for me getting undressed when I get back home. Okay? So if I have a 40-hour shift at Chick-fil-A, because I know a lot of y'all keep telling me I'm going to get a part-time job, right? And this is again using Jay's logic on this. If I have a 40-hour job and I'm making $15 an hour, so that's 40 times 15. That is $600 a week, okay? That's me working 40 hours a week, 8 hours a day at my job. Just at the job, 8 hours a day, right? Add on another 2 hours per day for travel, okay? So 2 times 5 is 20. So now we have less than 20 hours. So instead of working 40 hours, according to Jay's logic, I will be working 60 hours. So that's 40 plus 20. We're at 60 hours for the week. All right. Now I have to get up in the morning. I don't wake up and run out of my house. I probably wake up about an hour before I have to go to get ready for the train. So I'll say 10 hours, 1 hour each day in the morning to get ready. So we add in 5 hours, excuse me. 5 plus, what number did you have before? We was at 60. So we had 65, okay? 65 hours. When I get off of work and I finally get home and I have to unwind, does that count towards me working at Chick-fil-A? Because honestly, the only reason why I'm unwinding is because my day was so long at work. So I have to account for that too, right? So let's add in another hour. So we add per day. So that's another plus 5. So we got plus
and technically that's
5.
Ready for the next day.
Oh, and that's something different. Because some of y'all might have to get ready for that. Do you put your clothes out for that time? When do you put your clothes out?
I would just put it into the
Okay, so we put all in the same, because we're being nice, we're being generous, put it all in the same category. So we got 40 hours of work. We have another, maybe it was 1 per day. It's 2 per day. So it's actually 50. I'm going to subtract the 10. I doubled the number. Because it's 1 hour, is 2 hours to go and come back. So it's 10 hours, not 20. So I had to tell me to subtract 10. So minus 10 hours. So we have 10 hours to get ready, right? We have 10 hours of travel, an hour both ways for travel.
Right.
That's 10 hours.
And then 1 hour to get ready and 1 hour to unwind.
All right, so that's
4 hours extra per day.
4
times 5, that would be 20.
Okay, so now we're at 60. Going by my guy Jay's logic here. Would you, Melissa, count the time on Sundays before work start? Were you thinking about getting ready for work? Does that count? Because now, let's say you were doing something, you have to now stop doing that thing to get ready for work. You got to leave early to get ready for work. That might have to count towards work. I wouldn't do this kind of math, but this is the math that Jay wants to do. So because Jay wants to do this kind of math, we're doing the kind of math. Listen, I could put another hour on top. I'll give another hour because honestly, think about it. On Fridays, if you go out on Friday because your work was so stressful, do we count that towards the amount of time that you was at work? Are those hours that go into you being at work? Because I'm so exhausted from work. Now I get off on Friday. I want to go hang out. I'm so tired. Saturday, I'm still I gotta recoup from the week. I gotta do something, right? So I'm gonna add another. Let me see. Got an hour on Sunday, so that's plus 1 hour. I'll give you 1 hour on Sunday to get ready for work, and then on Friday and Saturday, I'll give you 3 hours. So we got 6 plus 3, 64 hours, okay, for the week. 64 hours at a regular full-time job making $15 an hour, okay? So, remember, we're only getting paid $600 this week, and I worked 40 hours. So we got 600 divided by 64, okay? I'm actually only making $9.37 an hour. If we're being honest, we're going by Jay's logic, okay? But wait, there's more. What do I put into my math formula, right? For taxes, okay? So taxes like 20%. So we're going to take off 20% from my $9.37. So $9.37, we're going to do it times 80%. Times 80%. I got $7.50. I'm making $7.50 and I'm working 65 hours a week, right? Now, let's just say, because Jay also said, he said we should work 80 hours a week because we're young. Young people should work 80 hours a week. So let's just say that by some way that I'm working 80 hours a week at Chick-fil-A because they allow me to work that much because they don't even let you work that much if you want to, okay? But let's just say I found a second job at McDonald's, right? $15 an hour. Okay, so now I'm making $1,200 a week. Now remember this. I'm working 80 hours. I'm making $1,200 a week. And then I look at Donovan's podcast, The Bamboo Project, and I see that he made twice as much as I did in 2 days. If you want to count the whole week, he made twice as much as I did with less work in 7 days, and I worked 80 hours. And again, that's 80 hours if we're not counting all the other hours that go into it, because here's what people don't understand. If you're working 80, first of all, 80, let me see, hold on. What is 80 divided by? Maybe I'm bugging. 80 divided by 7 would be what? 11 hours a day. So you're working 11 hours a day for 80 hours. So that means you don't get no time off. You're working 11 hours a day, or you're working 16 hours a day for 5 days, which means you sleep for 8 hours, and then you work across the street from your job, and then you wake up, throw on a shirt, and go to work. That's how, if you work in 16-hour days for 5 days a week, right? Okay. When I see these numbers, right? And people are saying to me, Donovan, You have to, you and Melissa, y'all need to get a part-time job to make an extra $300 a week. I'm like, why would I do that? Because I could take that same time, right? That same time I could take and put it into growing the candle business, which is what we're doing right now, which is why before, when we were doing the candles, right? Before, when we didn't have as much time to do the candles, we was making like $800 in a day, $900 for the weekend, right? Now that we have more time to delegate to the candles, we are making $2,400 in 2 days. It doesn't even make sense. It's insane. It's insane for someone to think that it would behoove us to get a part-time job. Jay has suggested that I work on Fiverr, on Upwork, and do Excel spreadsheets and things like that, right? The funny thing about that is the same mentality for that I would have in the candles. Because if you have never done that before, Jay, I don't know if you have, or anybody else. Other people who have done it probably know how crazy that is to just think that. But here's why, for people who have never done it. You don't just go on Fiverr and just get somebody to pay you for your Excel spreadsheet. You don't just go on Upwork and say, hey, I'm a new photographer, hire me, right? It don't work like that. You have to hopefully get picked for whatever you do on there, which means you have to put in work to build out your page. You have to put in work for your copy, which means what you're writing on your page. You have to have actual, like a resume of what you have already done before. And even with that, your pricing has to match other people. And then someone has to choose you, a brand new person, over somebody else. And then once they choose you, you have to do a great job. Everything has to go well, and you have to get a good review. And you know what that means? Now you have one person that has given you a review on your page. You have one person. So I put in all the same work that I'll be putting into the candles, and I have one review on the candle page, on my Upwork or Fiverr page, right? The same amount of work it takes to build the candle business is the same amount of work it would take to do Upwork and Fiverr. So to do those things, to take away from this, and here's the thing, maybe I will give you an Excel spreadsheet because that one is less time intensive, right? But a lot of other jobs actually require labor for me to do, which take away from the candles. So the number I gave you of $2,400 in a weekend would probably be a lot less. I would be tired. I would be sick. Things that had to be done in the middle of the week would take longer to do because I'm tired and or sick. Okay? So, anything you want to bring up, babe?
Or you couldn't physically do it because you'd be at work.
Right. I do not have the power to duplicate myself. So if I'm at work making my few $100 that you guys want me to make, then I would not be able to do the thing. So then, like I said, the crazy part is y'all be saying, Donovan, you should get a part-time job, do the candles, do the Turo videos, do YouTube videos, the podcast, and help Melissa with the candles. Y'all basically asking me to put all the work of the candles on Melissa. Like, hey, so last week you've been by yourself. Did everything by yourself for last week. And then, because I'm working these hours, you out of luck until I come back.
Yeah, go to New Jersey.
Go to Jersey. You're going by yourself. I can't go. I'm at work. My job didn't say I can go. My job did not let me. I called my job and said, hey, job, I have to go pick up wax from Jersey today. Can I not come in?
We can't even park on that street. I'll have to carry 100 pounds of wax to the car.
Right, by yourself, dolo. Listen, that's what it would be. So,
Turnstile.
Right.
Where was he?
You'd by yourself. You would be by yourself. You know why? Because YouTube told me that I need to make sure that I make $300 a week, so that part-time, so that you have groceries paid for, which are paid for right now by the candles. So it's like, I'm telling y'all, I don't know. But that is the candle business right now. As far as that's how much we did last weekend. We've also have some good upcoming things with the candles. There's a website called Bulletin that have reached out to us to have the candles hosted on their site. According to them, they are seen by 60,000 retailers that order wholesale. Another company has reached out called Spocket, who has said they saw some Artisan Fleece, which is where we go every weekend. And they want us to be on their website too for them to host the candles. We also have to go to Turnstile, which we have not done yet, which is the 30-day one. There's also something else that happened. Oh, so just remember something. So I know you've been telling me to get a job. You've been telling me I should get a part-time job. Okay. So I've been thinking about it during the week. I've been thinking about it. I'm like, okay, maybe I should get a part-time job. I'm like, maybe they're right. I should find me a job. Okay. So lo and behold, magically, I got a job. Crazy. I know I've been talking crazy on a little rant earlier, but think about this, right? So I got a job. Okay. So tomorrow is when I start my job. I know y'all excited. You're probably clapping. You're probably all happy. Like, yes, he got a job. Yes, I'm so happy that he got a part-time job to make $300 in a week. The company that we go to every weekend has asked me to do a photo shoot for them. Okay, they want me in their photo shoot. All right, they are offering me $100 for the photo shoot for 4 hours. So that's $25 an hour. So I just want to say, I want to congratulate myself on how much of a great job I've done. All the work I put in to get this job for you guys. I've got one. Okay. I hope you're happy for me. I hope you're all happy that I've secured the bag. Okay. I'm making $100. $100. Right? For 4 hours of doing a photo shoot for the candles, by the way. But it's part-time on the side. Remember, guys, y'all want to be on the side. I'm on the side making $100, $25 an hour. Okay, I'm feeling myself. I gotta shake it off because I feel like now I'm part of the workforce. Like I feel like now I'm like part-time job. I got employed. I might have to get a W-9 too. Crazy. So, do you want to bring up your transgressions with said photo shoot, Melissa?
I don't really have any transgressions. Well, I don't know. I feel like.
Oh. Okay. So listen to this. Right now, the camera is zoomed in. So for the last, 100 plus episodes, I have been cropping the video post filming, and now I just decided to zoom in. So now I can keep the clarity. I can probably see how good I look on the camera. If y'all can't see how good I look on the camera, don't worry, because these women who work at the market know how good I look on camera. So they decide they wanted me in a photo shoot, but they only wanted me though, right? So what I mean by that is these women reached out to me directly. Now here's the thing about this, right? Here's what I think. I said this to y'all maybe 2 weeks ago, maybe last week. Your man's a superstar. I think the word I said was superstar.
Slut.
I think I said superstar. You heard superstar, right? So when they casted me in their TikTok, okay, it is the third highest viewed video for their page because they had me in it. Your man was in it, okay? What you want me to tell you? When I look this good and I have this charisma, look at this. Look at the charisma, okay? It just translates so well over the camera. And they realized, they said, oh, we need him in this video. That's what we need. So that's why they DM me, not the candle page. They DM me. It's like, hey, Donovan, it would be so amazing if you could do a photo shoot with us on Wednesday. I'm like, bet. I'm hoping it's a firefighter shoot where I can be like shirtless with oil dripping down my body. I can be saving some type of woman or something. Or I could be having this big old, I'm going to have a big hose, right? And I'm going to be holding the hose. I'm going to be putting out the fire that's on her, right?
Donovan's a slut.
I am doing this for my girlfriend, okay? Because YouTube told me to get a part-time job, Melissa. I'm doing this for you. I'm doing this for you, okay? I don't want you to have to worry about what to do. What can do with $100? I don't want... your laundry, okay? I could pay for your laundry with the $100. I could pay for part of the groceries. I can pay for part of the light bill, part of the car note, okay? 1/5 of the car.
I will continue to slut shame you.
Wow. I'm doing this for her and she's slut shaming me. Isn't that crazy? This is you said what?
Cozy legs.
Listen, I am working, okay? I thought I was doing it for the relationship so that we could stay together, so that Melissa doesn't leave me. Because I know y'all want Melissa to leave me. I've heard, who was it, Enigma? I think it was Enigma that was like, you should leave him. Listen, I am working very hard for Melissa so that we don't have to do this anymore. That's why I'm getting a photo shoot, okay? That's the reason why. I want to make sure that we have enough, as a man, my job, to make sure that she's provided for. She has to be provided for with my $100. I need to make sure that my $100 goes to making her happy. Okay, babe? I'm going to get you whatever you want with $100. Whatever you want. Anything you want. I got you.
Say less.
I was joking. That's not for you. It's my money. Okay, yes. So we're gonna spin the block on that. We have a couple things to talk about. So right now, we're waiting to see what happens with Ink Sports. We are waiting for what happens with Bulletin. We're waiting for Spocket. We have to SPOCKET. We have to get on there. I think I'll put those links of the page that we're on in the description. Hopefully I remember, so you guys can check those out. We have to build those up too. Let's say we have a lot of work to do as far as growing the candles. That is kind of where we are at. Yeah.
The food and design.
Oh yes. So that another brand had reached out to us because they saw us at Artisan Fleas, and they said that they want us to come to their event. Okay, we have to pay $700 for the weekend. Right now it seems kind of steep. However, because we're supposed to go to my sister's brother's birthday something in Florida, we had to remove one of our dates for the craft fair. So it just so happens that event, okay, this is God's intervention. In December, we had 2 dates. The first weekend and the third weekend. That was it. We had to remove the third weekend because of this event with my sister's brother.
And the second weekend was booked out.
And the second weekend was booked out, so we couldn't even book it. But this event that we were invited to is on the second weekend. The only thing, like I said, is it's kind of pricey because normally you only pay about $175 for a day. We're paying almost double that. And I think we'll still make our money back in terms of making at least $300. So that's good. And I think, honestly, I wouldn't be mad at with breaking even. I think I'll be okay with breaking even just because of the exposure we might possibly get at this event.
The company is called Edible Manhattan.
It's called Edible Manhattan. So I think that, like I said, we have to come up with $700 to do it. But I think that we have about 6 weeks to come up with that money to do. So I'm excited for that. We haven't paid for it yet. We did book out some dates into in January or February. Actually, no, not that time. Excuse me. We booked out holidays at Grand Bazaar next year. So at those markets up in the Upper West Side, we already have those dates secured. So we're moving. We just bought some more wax. We actually have enough inventory in the house to cover 3+ craft fairs right now. So that's great. So it's less stress to really have to make the candles. Now what we're focusing on is how we're going to design the turnstile location in 59th Street Columbus train station. I think, though, that is it for the candles. I don't really have... There's more candle stuff? Oh my God. Oh my goodness. Okay. All right. This is what This is for all the people who keep saying, credit, Donovan, you got to care about your credit. Here's the thing. Here's another thing that I really need people to understand. Okay. How much research have you done on credit? That's the real question I need to ask, because I have dived very deep into what credit is and how it works. Very, very deep. I have talked to people about how to fix my credit. Did I hire somebody for that? I don't know if I didn't hire someone, but I know someone that does that, and I've talked to them about it. I have a couple of people close to me who are in credit repair. Okay. There are a lot of ways to get credit, and y'all are telling me how important credit is. Okay. I'm going to address, I think it was TL also in a second. We have found Uline. And I think I might have touched on it on the last podcast. I'm not sure. But Uline gives us credit, okay, with everything that we are going through right now. They did not check our credit score. They did not check anything for anything. They didn't care. They didn't ask me, hey, Donovan, have you paid your rent where you live? They didn't say, hey, Donovan, those MCA lenders that you owe money to, did you pay them back? They didn't say, hey, Donovan, what's your credit score? They didn't say any of those things, okay? They just said, here you go, net 30. For those who don't know, a net 30 is pretty much when you are able to get something that they give you, whether some type of product or usually a product. I think it's always a product, honestly. And you have 30 days to pay them back. It's on credit, okay? And once you pay them back, they extend you more credit. So right now, we have gotten metal tins for free, multiple metal. I think that we didn't buy. We got almost 300 small candle tins for free. They're higher quality than what we were using before. And they gave it to us for free. And We can get sample bags. Normally right now, what we do is we get 200 sample bags from Amazon. It costs, let's say $8, I think, right? Something like that. Uline would, again, for free. Let me not say for free. I know a lot of y'all are going to get upset when I say that. On credit, will give us 10,000 sample bags for $50. 10,000. We don't have to pay it for 30 days. So we can make the money from the craft fair and pay that $50 next week. And remember, guys, this is me with not paying my credit cards in months. Another company doesn't even care. They go, okay, don't care. Here's credit. Okay. So the reason I bring this up is because a lot of y'all are misinformed about how credit works. Okay. The credit system is designed like any other product is designed. Okay. It's not real. Someone made it up and said, I'm going to ascribe a number to you based off of what I think is important. Okay. So if you pay your phone bill, we are going to give you X amount of points towards this number that we created ourselves. That would be like this. Okay. Perfect example. If I said right now, everybody that's on this podcast and listening to it, you have your credit score with me is 300. If you comment, you get an extra 100 points. If you don't comment, your score goes down. Does that now mean that you have lost your integrity? Because this is what Jay was saying. Jay was saying that by not paying these companies, I now have lost integrity because I don't pay them. So again, like if I said to you right now, you're listening to this on YouTube, but you didn't comment or subscribe, you know what that means? Credit score goes down 100 points. That changed nothing for you. Unless, you know what it would change? If everybody in the world used the Bamboo Project credit score, then it would mean something. But it's only because everybody uses it. It don't make it real. And then imagine if I said, okay, guys, if you join the Discord, I'll give you 100 points on your credit score. Because I don't know if y'all know this. You can go on Experian, okay? And funny enough, Mr. Beast literally had a video about this. He was sponsored by Experian. And in the video, he talked about Experian Boost. And in Experian Boost, they give you points on your actual credit score if you hook up your Netflix account to Experian. If you have paid for Netflix for 3 months, they will raise your credit score. Isn't that crazy? I know y'all probably don't believe me. I'm telling you, it's crazy. There are several companies that do this, that you can just more or less pay them to raise your credit score. I know, like I said, y'all have been given information for a very long time about how this works. It's not as important as you think, okay? It's really not. I think it's only important, like I said this before multiple times, it's only important for possibly two things where it's really important. That's getting a car and getting a house. Those are the main two reasons why. And it's really only important for those things if you don't have any money. Because if you don't have any money, if you do have money, you can just go buy the car, cash if you have it. You can buy the house, cash if you have it. You can go on a website. If you went on Google, I guarantee, right? If you went on to a website right now, Instagram, Facebook, any of these platforms, and you said, hey guys, I need someone to co-sign this car for me. I'll pay you $5,000. How many people right now listen to this podcast? If I said to you, I'll give you $5,000 to co-sign my apartment, I'll give you $20,000 to co-sign my apartment. Yeah, I think people be like, nah, Donovan, I don't want $20,000 to co-sign your apartment. I don't want to do that. You may not. I guarantee I can find a lot of people with good credit who will go, I'll do it. $20,000, I'll do it. I'll do that. And I'm like, $20,000 is steep. I'm pretty sure I could get it done for less. Probably $5,000-$6,000. That could be 2 months of rent or something. It's people will go, I'll give it to you. There are businesses out there right now who sell their authorized user agreement because they sell their slot on as an authorized user. For those who don't know what that means, I have a credit card, right? And it's an imaginary example. I have a credit card. My credit score is 700, 800. You have no credit. I can write you on my credit card as an authorized user. So now your credit score shoots up because now you have my credit history and you have my credit limit on your credit report. I can do that same thing right now if I go and find a company that does that. And so I'm like, y'all are talking about credit, okay? Y'all talking about credit. Y'all talking about getting a part-time job. Y'all are saying these things, and I don't know if y'all have done the like actual research, not what you've heard. Because if you cannot name the time that you went and sat down and read these things, read books on it, watched videos on it, and studied the articles, then you didn't really look it up. You've probably heard it secondhand from somebody else that told you how important credit is. Someone that probably did not understand credit, because they would tell you how to actually take advantage of the credit system, right? But they didn't tell you that. Some people, and again, I seem like Jay does not want to take advantage of the credit system. A couple other people felt that same way. If you don't want to take advantage of the credit system, that's on you. I get it. I'm telling you, that's your personal opinion. That's what you want to do. Sure. Me, I'm taking full advantage of the credit score system. 100%. Take advantage of it. All left, up, down, right, everything. Okay? Okay, so now. Someone had wanted a correction, or they wanted more of, what would you call it? They wanted more of an explanation as to Melissa's opinion on Donovan working. And I guess they felt as though what she said last week wasn't sufficient. So Melissa will make an appearance on the podcast to explain her opinion on Donovan Gray getting a part-time job to help pay something around the house for $300, right? Crazy. It's insane. But I mean, I don't know. I don't know what she thinks. Not really. Maybe I do. I could be lying. But I will let her explain it to you.
So pretty much, yeah, I'm just going to answer. Okay, I'm tippy-toeing. I'm just going to answer the question just flat out. No, I do not think that Donovan should get a part-time job. It doesn't really make sense at this point of what we're doing. The reason why I answered the way that I answered last week is because I thought the point was like that someone should get a job. And it's kind of like, I just wanted to show like, yeah, I did that and it didn't work for these reasons. So I think Donovan did a great job talking about, you know, how where the candles are headed and everything now. And honestly, to be completely honest, the amount of money that we're making now does not include, like, the candles are very undervalued in a lot of ways. One of the craziest things that we've realized is that we don't really get a lot of return buyers. From the people that's bought candles. And, you know, we sell at the same place every week. So we'll run into the same people. So, you know, our thing is that we ask people if they want to smell a candle. So we'll ask somebody if they want to smell a candle. And that person's like, oh, I already have a candle of yours. And we'll be like, oh, shoot, really? And we'll ask them, like, okay, like, how's it going? Like, you know, did you finish it? It's still burning? What's going on? And they'll be like, yeah, man. And they'll be like, yeah, man, I'm still burning it. But like, what? Like, what size candle did you get? Like, yeah, I got the small one. I'm like, you got the small one? And mind you, we haven't seen this person in weeks. That candle costs $15. If you're going to have that candle for weeks and it's small and you only spent $15 on it, there's room for that to go up. There's room for it. I honestly think that candle is probably a $20 candle, and I honestly think that our signature candle, the larger candle, is a $50 candle. So that's just one thing right there. Other thing is, we do not market the candles at all. Us talking about the candles on the podcast is just like us talking about our life. This is not marketing for the candles. So there's no ads for the candles anywhere. There's no marketing. We barely post on the candle. I can't tell you when's the last time we posted on the candle Instagram. So there's so much work. We are not sending out any email campaigns. There's just so many things that can be done to drive more sales that we are just trying to solidify our foundation with the craft fairs first before we get into those other things, before we get really deep into putting out social media content, before we really get into getting the copyright and getting the imagery right to send out to people, to remind them to buy. There's so many different, and we only have 4 products. We only have 4 products. There's only 4 scents, guys. It's in 2 sizes. That's it. We haven't dropped other scents. We haven't dropped other products. There's this one product that I'm really excited for, y'all. I'm going to tell y'all now because, you know, We like y'all. I want to do a massage candle for Valentine's Day. Like, there's just so much room to grow for the candles, and for us to put time into other things that will not grow the candles, because I think there's two things that maybe is kind of getting like the wires are getting crossed. Just because we are not working a part-time job or a full-time job with someone else doesn't mean that we have free time. It doesn't mean that we're not doing anything with our time. We spend a lot of time on the candles. And when we're answering the questions about like how much time does it take to put into the craft fairs, that's strictly the craft fairs that we're talking about. So that doesn't encompass all the other things that we're working on, or that. So I just want to put out there that like getting a job would take away from that tremendously. It's not worth it. So no, wholeheartedly, I do not believe that Donovan should get a part-time job. Okay.
As far as getting a job, right? Yeah, I know I was selling the spreadsheets on the Google Sheets. I was selling them on Shopify. Well, for some reason, Shopify decided to ban me from using the platform and selling the spreadsheets. According to them, the product I sell is very risky to them because they cannot enforce refunds. So they no longer want that on their platform. And that was honestly bringing in about an extra $60 a week over the last couple of weeks. I honestly got an order after they had banned it. They said that they were going to stop allowing people to order. So I don't know exactly what that means. I'm wondering if that means that you can't use a Shopify payment to do it, but you can use like maybe Amazon or PayPal or something. But they won't allow it. So right now my payments are on hold. The account is pretty much locked, and I cannot make any money from Shopify as of right now. So when people talk about selling spreadsheets and on Fiverr or whatever else the case might be, there are other possibilities and risks that come with it, such as this. Okay, so if this was one of my main streams of income, I would no longer be making money from Shopify. I have to figure out another way to make money. But I wouldn't have a problem with it if that was my main stream of income, because I would try and find another way. The issue comes in is when people feel as though you can just start a business and make money. And I think that any business that's being done, there has to be work that's put into it. You can't just do it and just make money. So I think it's kind of crazy that they did that. I had to send in some more documents so that they would then open my account. And then when I sent in the documents, that's when they said, no, we don't want you on here. So, we'll see what happens. As of right now, I am not making any money from there, or I can't use my money that I made from there. And funny enough, we got a Turo booking for the car, which we only have on the platform, so people who see the Turo video can see the listing. But there is literally no chance of us renting the car out because the car is too valuable to us. The order that person placed would have been for, I think we would have made $500 in December, and I think the car would have been booked for maybe like 8 days, something like that. I think it was 7 or 8 days. And it's just, when you start thinking about the numbers on it, and we would have to rent that car to them. We could not drive to the craft fair. So we have to pay to get to the craft fair or carry all the things ourselves to the craft fair. We could not do groceries. We could not take people to get food after. So we take her brother to get food. We get food after the craft fair. We could not do that. Taking them home, paying to get to the craft fair and then paying to get back home from the craft fair. We couldn't do that. Getting groceries, like I said, going to get the wax from Jersey, anything that requires a car during the week, we would not be able to do. And I think the car is worth more to us than $500 a week. I would probably not rent a car unless we was making $2,000. I think to me, that's the number that feels right if someone wanted to rent the car. It would have to be $2,000 and it would have to be for a short enough time period. So I think a week, I would probably rent it for $2,000. I might even give you 10 days. Like with $2,000, I could probably figure out a way to get to the craft fair, but not for $500. Why you say that?
I feel like it's closer to
3? I say that. I feel like $2,000 could get us to the craft fair. I could pay. I'm like, hey, nephew, can you drive me to the craft fair? Can you ask one of your aunts or uncles, like, hey, we need somebody to pick us up? You think nobody, if you pay them, I could pay you $100 to drive me to over there.
But I still think that's not enough for, because, okay, that's what it is. Okay. Because I thought we just wouldn't do the craft fair.
Oh, no. We're still doing a craft fair. We wouldn't be driving there. So that's what I would do. Now, episode playback. One thing I've noticed, like I said, with the me standing up thing, I think I've definitely been able to tame it a little bit more, but I have I'm not sure what word to use. I think me standing up can be very galvanizing and incendiary. And I think when people hear me talk with the energy that I speak with about certain topics, I think that it can get a rise out of them. I think it can disturb their zen. And I think that isn't necessarily my goal. Like, I'm not trying to do that. So I think I have to remember to at least keep it under wraps, because I think that there's a certain kind of energy that I would not talk to people with unless it had gotten to that point. So I know if I'm talking to the camera that people could feel that. So I want to still be as genuine to myself as possible. My thing is, I don't want to bring energy to something that someone else is not prepared for, I guess, if that makes sense. So that's my thing. And I know I get real hyped up. Like, when me and Melissa are in the house and I start going, I could really start getting real, like, yo, like, I could really start that. So I'm like, if I'm watching the podcast or I'm watching YouTube videos, y'all have seen before, I have said on the podcast, I feel like I'm better than a lot of people. That is just how I feel. I cannot change that. I feel that way. And I am going to act I'm going to act how I feel. I feel like I am better than a lot of people at a lot of things. So I am going to exude that energy when I speak. So people are going to feel that. And again, people who want to challenge that will feel that challenge and then want to, challenge back, which is fine. I'm all for it, 100%, which is why we have the Discord, which is linked in the description. Like I said, I'm very excited. I was talking to my friend today about setting it up, and Melissa was showing me a Discord that she's in and how they set it up. So I'm very excited to see how that plays out, because I think that's going to really be a game changer for just the podcast in general, for everybody who watches and listens in general, people, friends, for everybody. I think that the Discord will definitely be fun. I'm going to have fun. And certain people I know, I think with Jonathan L., he was saying, I'm like, listen, if y'all want to comment in the description and in the comment box, that's cool and all, but y'all can't be afraid of the light to come to and actually have that convo, like face to face or camera to camera or voice to voice. Like, listen, that if I can't pull up to the city you in, we could definitely do it on the video or the audio. So if you are afraid of that kind of energy, or if you have some type of thing, I don't know whatever people's thing is, I'm trying to tame myself. Okay. That's what it is. I don't think that I'm confused by why someone would make statements and then also not want to have that conversation and the dialogue about people's opinions on a particular topic. I think I worded that pretty well. So like I said, right now I'm in the chat, Melissa's in the chat, Sarah's in the chat, Alaba's in the chat, not Turo yet, and Frederick's in the chat right now, in the Discord. Excuse me. So. Oh, and TJ Good Vibes is in the chat. So, episode playback, I think I'm probably going to cover two comments. And then, honestly, one other thing from the episode playback that I remember when I was talking about debt. A lot of people have not heard this before, okay? The money that we have in your pocket, the cash that you have, is debt. No one anymore is debt free. It doesn't work like that. The whole system has been changed. The system is built on debt. So you cannot be debt free in a system where all the currency and money that you have is actually debt. The difference between my debt and your debt is that the government takes their money back from you regardless of what you want them to do. They tax you from your sales tax. They tax you from your income tax. They tax you from Social Security tax. That is you paying the debt back. That is why there are so many taxes. The IRS is literally, it's a balancing act between the Federal Reserve and the IRS. They are giving you money and then taking it back because they cannot have too much money in circulation at one time. So that's debt because you don't own the thing. They're lending it to you and they're saying, okay, you've been working for 40 hours. I'm taking 20% of that. Okay. That's how that works. So just because you think you don't have any debt because you have a credit card and you think that it's really low, or you don't have any school loans, or you don't take out any loans from the bank, you still have debt. You know how I know you have debt? Because you're still paying taxes. That's how you have debt. When you go to pay your sales tax, you're paying that. That's the debt. You are giving the money back. You're giving it back. So at least with the debt I have, nobody could take the debt from me. You cannot take my loan from me because it's not income. The government is not going to tax my loan because they already know that someone is going to take it back from me. I have to pay that back. So because the system already is set up for me to pay that money back and I am knowingly paying it back, they don't care. When people think they don't have to pay the tax back, which is income, that's when the government steps in and goes, oh, yeah, no, that's mine. I'm taking that back. So that's what that... like I said, very funny. If I get a loan for $50K right now, I don't gotta pay no taxes on it. If you make $50K in income from anything, if I give you $50K in cash, you gotta pay taxes on that. Isn't that crazy? If a bank gives you $50K, I don't have to pay taxes on that. And honestly, now you think about it, the interest that you pay on the $50K is lower than the tax you would pay on that same money. So if you actually use that money to make more money, then you don't ever have to pay that amount of tax. You pay less. But like I said, this is what I'm talking about when people are talking about me being in debt and people talking about I should work a part-time job. Like, I'm going to go into $300 of debt and I can't, for what? To buy my groceries? Come on, guys. Come on. There's some comments probably, and then I'm going to wrap it up. Oh, you see, for some of y'all who do not know, Melissa just dropped a music video. Excuse me, not a music video. It was just her singing a song that she made. It is called, what is it called? Love Like This. Right? So that is now on the channel. We're going to go up. We're just giving y'all bits and pieces because we don't actually have the capital to do the things we need to do, but we're working towards it. We're getting there very slowly. Okay. Melissa's going to be a superstar. She's going to be famous. She's going to be a very popular artist. And you're going to be like, wow, how did this happen? I remember when they were not paying their rent. And
I sung them songs on that microphone.
Right here. This one right here. You see this one? This one right here. This one.
That microphone. I engineered it myself. I edited the album cover myself.
Mm-hmm. And y'all are confused as to what we do during the week. We work. I was trying to say this last week, and I'm trying to get onto the comments. When you get off work, you don't work anymore. You go home and that's it. Most people get off work and that's the end of it. We don't have a not working. Like, it's not, if we're not working, it's because we're resting to work again. Like, that is literally like, and that's talking about maybe an hour. And honestly, y'all, I say it in the title, in the intro, turning our life into a living. Melissa will get paid to sing. I will be paid to talk on the podcast. The candles will be paying us. Okay? We will be getting paid to just do what we already do every single day. That is the goal I have for myself and for people who are watching this. My goal is to make sure that people who are watching this can get paid doing what they already love to do. So you don't have to go and do something that you hate to do or really don't like to do and get debt from it. At least get debt for something that you like. Don't go into debt for something you don't like. Like, I will gladly go into debt if it's going to make me more money. I do not want to go into debt just to be like, oh, I bought a nice car or I bought this expensive thing. That's not why I want to go into debt. And by debt, I mean income, guys. Okay, so Cueren, people who, she said she's a landlord. Shout out to Tanisha Davis, who is also a landlord. I don't know if she still is. I think she evicted her tenant, so I don't know if she has a new one. But she is in the real estate business. Okay. I have an aunt. My family owns a brownstone in Manhattan, and I am very familiar with the rental process. Okay. We also have a property in Philadelphia. I have researched real estate when we were trying to buy the property and when we were trying to wholesale. Okay. We finessed to get into this apartment. So when people talk to me about rent and people say you have to have good credit for rent, you do not. Okay. You only have to have good credit for rent if you don't have money. And I know that I think she's a she. I know that they think that, or they say that they would not rent to you for that reason. A couple of things. We currently live in a luxury apartment building. Okay. We are not renting from a regular civilian. Okay. So there are very different protocols for renting from buildings like this than a person who is a regular civilian. Even with that being said, if I am sitting down with a person who owns a building, I say, hey, listen, COVID happened. Okay. I didn't have any money, so I did not pay my credit bills because I was trying to build this business that is now bringing me in $40K a month. That's why I did not pay my credit card bill. That's why it went down. Okay. So I can pay 5 months of rent up front. If you want me to, I can, whatever the law says, 3 months of rent up front. I can have a cosigner who has a good credit and they could co-sign for me. Or we have some type of agreement where, who knows, you get a piece of something. Like, it's all a part of what the offer is to the person, because at the end of the day, the credit score system is only a guide to tell you what somebody is. Because think about it like this, right? How many people have good credit scores that get an apartment and still suck? Think about Tanisha, right? She was saying that she has a person at her apartment, or who she evicted. I'm pretty sure that person went through a screening process to rent that place and still turned out to be terrible. Honestly, if the credit score system worked, then no one would ever have a bad tenant. But somehow people keep having bad tenants. How does that happen? You know why that happens? Because it tells you the credit score system does not actually tell you whether someone is really good at paying or not. It gives you, it's an indicator of them being able to pay, but it does not definitively tell you that person is good at paying their rent. It doesn't tell you that. It does not tell you what kind of person that person is when things go bad for them. It does not tell you any of those things at all. Okay? So the reason I bring that up is because if I am talking to a person and I tell them my situation and I say, hey, look, here's my income. I make X amount of dollars every single month. Can I rent from you? Right? There's enough people that have an apartment. Someone will say yes. And that's if I'm talking to an actual civilian. If I'm talking to a building like this, there's a guy right now. He changed his YouTube name. It used to be Airbnb Automated. I don't know what it is now. His name is Sean Rockageech. He has a course where he talks about this, right? He had a bankruptcy on his credit score, on his credit statement. He had a hard time getting an apartment. But he had a business which was making an obscene amount of money. So you know what the managers at the building said? They said, hey, why don't you just sign the lease in your business name and we'll rent the apartment to you? And he did that. And that's when he learned how to do Airbnb, because they let him do that. So if we have the business, which is making a good amount of money, right? And we sign under the business name, we will be able to rent a luxury apartment building with just the business credit. But honestly, forget business credit, because I wasn't even talking about that, just income. Because we could also build business credit. Right. I can have 10 companies right now that have great business credit, and my credit could be shitty. And you know what? It doesn't matter, because I still have good credit with one of my businesses, and they can rent for all the other businesses. I could have somebody else rent for, I imagine this too. I could have someone else rent for me under their name, and I just pay them. And you can't say it doesn't happen, because it happens all the time. All the time. I can pay, listen, how about this? I pay you extra 20% per month on my rent, and I rent under your name. All right, cool. And honestly, what I could do is I could just set it up where I'm a roommate or whatever. So my name is still on the lease, so that now I still have apartment history when I move. So when I re-sign a lease, I'll be the only one signing up. And since I'm already in the apartment, I don't need that person to sign up to the lease again. I can sign up myself because I already live there. And just like that, now I have credit history and I have rental history. Like, come on, guys, get what this is. What I'm literally putting y'all onto game right here. I'm telling y'all the game right here. I'm telling to y'all. I'm like, bro, because I'm like, y'all don't even know. Yeah, listen, we have, how y'all think we got a house and a car with no job and no credit? How y'all think we did that? How did that happen? How did we do that? How are we in an apartment a luxury apartment building with no income for 2+ years. How did we do that? How? Is it an accident? It can't be an accident.
That's crazy. They really don't ask for no rental. Like, they don't ask for income, nothing.
They just said a new lease. They say, here's a new lease, sign it. Oh, my roommate moved out. Okay, here, you just sign it then. All right, cool. Now I have my own apartment. I can sign a 6-month lease, right? At the end of that lease, I could have the other person say they no longer live there and I live there by myself, and my income will be able to support that I live there because my business is making so much money. They'll go, okay, as long as you make enough, we would much rather rent to you who's already been paying rent for 6 months than have to go and start the whole process again to find someone else to rent to. Like, I'm putting y'all onto game right now. I'm telling y'all. Like, come on, how y'all, bro, come on. Like, how we doing? How we still here? How we still here? That's what I feel. We a cockroach. How we still here? You can't get rid of us. We cockroaches. All right? Very handsome cockroach, by the way. So, I think there was one other comment I might have wanted to respond to. Let me see who else is on here. Was it T? I feel like T said something. A love like this. Oh no, Natasha Lamont. Why she deleted the comment? Don't do that. Don't do that. It said, boo, 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 boo. So I'm wondering if Natasha commented under her other YouTube channel and then she deleted it because she's using her burner account to comment. Because I'm like, the person that I was talking to about them being a landlord didn't comment. Stop being spooky, TL. You're being spooky. All right. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it for today. And then the last thing I'll leave you guys with is the house update. There is none. We had a showing last week. I'm waiting for feedback. I was very strongly considering a refinance, but it costs $700 to do, right? And then we would be paying $2,000 a month probably in rent if it came back high enough. Even if it didn't, we'd probably still be paying $2,000 a month. So it's like we will be paying $700 to possibly be able to pay everybody back. I don't know if we have the money to do that. And then, like I said, Tori would have to be on board with co-signing for it. But like I said, I really want to pay everybody back because I know my sister and my mom want to use the money. I know Melissa's fairy angel god person probably could use the money back. I mean, listen, everybody, it's their money. Whatever they want to do, if they want to sit it in their account, they could. So I just want everybody to get their money back. So I'm still on the fence though, because I have been considering refinancing or not doing it. But I do think that some people I've talked to who have lent us money they kind of said just leave it the way it is and we're fine. So that's part of it too. And like I said, I think if we can grow the candles fast enough, then we could still pay everybody off, or the house just might sell a little bit later than we expected. So if it sells like in December or January, that's still good enough for us. Everybody I feel like would be comfortable getting their money back. So we will be back here next Tuesday. You can find all the behind the scenes content on our social medias. Mine is Donovan Gray, DONIVANGRAY, and my phenomenal, beautiful, amazing girlfriend, Anita Byrne, ANETABURN. You know what it is. Hashtag Bamboo Project 2022. Okay, we making moves. We get into it. Here's a crazy part. Right now, if you were to check out bank accounts, it says we're making over $5,000 every single month. We just have to keep spending it on bills and stuff. But we're making a lot of money per month. You can rent apartments with that money. You can get loans with that. All right. And with that being said, Bamboo Project.